EFL meeting yesterday. I suppose the big thing was the Checkatrade trophy with a few possibilities of changes to the format of it.
Yeah, it was quite an interesting review meeting yesterday at Walsall. A lot of the clubs had given up, or most of the clubs had given feedback prior to the meeting on how the competition had worked last season, or this season it was last year. And there was a lot of open and frank discussion about it. I think part of the problem the competition's had this season was the misconception that by including academy teams from the Premiership and Championship, then we're opening the door for B teams. But that came out very, very clear yesterday from the meeting that there was no appetite from any of the clubs to do that. The point in the competition, including these academy teams, was to try and, it was for the good of the game in England, to try and encourage English players, young players, academy players from these Championship and Premiership teams to get competitive football matches against League 1 and League 2 teams. But I think that's been lost in the whole thing. There was a lot of discussion about various things. The regionalisation obviously affected us really badly last year. So I've made that point clear at a number of meetings about about how that worked for us and didn't work for us. And interestingly, I was sitting beside Cambridge at the meeting, who flagged it up too. So having been in the same group, they are looking at a few options. They're going to give us all clubs a chance to vote. I think it's by the 9th of May. They're going to package some options going forward. Obviously, one was to retain with the academy teams in it, which financially is helpful to all the clubs because there's far more money, because the Premier League are willing to put money into it, because they see young players getting a game in that competition from their academies. The other option is to leave it the same, but they're also proposing to reduce the onerous number of first team players that need to play in the game by relaxing some of the rules on that. That it would only be 4 from 10 if you take out the goalkeeper, but if you've played over 40 games, for example, and then you'd be classed as a first team player, so therefore it shouldn't be an issue. You would then still count as the one of the 4, and loanees as well would count as. So I think that was certainly something that Paul brought up that was part of our feedback to the EFL, was that the full strength team rule was a bit onerous. It was difficult when you play so many games as well, depending on how injuries had gone in the previous weekend. But hopefully the fact that they have listened to a lot of the feedback, from whether it was our feedback or everybody else's at the same time, it'll be interesting to see when it actually comes out, the vote comes out to all the clubs, and with the various packages and offers on the table.
I guess it's a competition that's long established. I mean, Shrewsbury got to the final in the 90s. The manager won the final in the 90s, same game. And I suppose you showed from the final with Oxford and Coventry, there is an appetite for that final game.
Yeah, I mean, you can see, you just need to look at the crowd at Wembley at that final, Coventry-Oxford game. It was quite phenomenal. I think it's probably not been the greatest competition in the early rounds. Nobody's really paid any attention to it over the years, in my humble opinion. But I think if you do get to the latter stages, then I know that the prize money and the gate receipts that both Coventry and Oxford will have gained from getting to the final will certainly help them with their transfer budget for next season, because that'll be a bonus that they wouldn't have been expecting to get, and it was a lot of money. It was estimated that they would get from reaching the finals. I think there's money does help. Every football club's looking for additional money that you can't budget for, and the likes of that cup competition, for if nothing else, getting the fans and the players to go to Wembley, there's an opportunity. It is a different competition. It's always going to struggle because it's League 1 and League 2 only, and whether it's right or wrong, bringing the Championship teams in and the Premiership academy teams in, there was so much apathy against it, and I think, my own personal opinion, I think the PR was terrible from how it came out. It came out mixed up with the whole game solution, which has obviously since been shelved. That it seemed to be that everybody then jumped on that, they're going to bring academy teams into the EFL, and I can categorically deny. Everybody was quite adamant at the meeting yesterday when somebody actually mentioned it and was shot down in flames, that there's no way that academy teams will ever be playing in the EFL. And I think there was a strong support of, we want some form of competition. Is it ever going to be ideal for everybody? Probably not, but there are rewards there if clubs can do it properly and go through the rounds. But it's obviously one from our point of view. I think we should be trying to support and try and make it better. And obviously, if there's a chance of a day out at Wembley, I think we should all embrace that.
Is it a case now of just sort of waiting for the detail to come out before we know which way we vote, or is it a case we've got an idea?
No, I think we have to. I think you have to look at what comes out finally, because they took a kind of show of hands of just to gauge opinion. That was not a vote; it was just a gauge of opinion. And there were certain questions asked yesterday: should all the academy teams play all their games away from home? And various other questions about format, prize money. Should the prize money be increased, or should there be a better participation fee? And is everybody happy with, the lessening the onus of the rule about full strength teams? So I think there was definitely they were welcoming the feedback yesterday, and I think the fact that most clubs had actually given feedback prior to it shows that the EFL have actually listened. But it's also important we listen to the fans as well, and make sure that they try and get the games attended as much as possible, because the crowds were obviously down last year, and I think, if I'm honest, I think it's how it's been portrayed. The Johnson Paint Trophy, as it was before, obviously prior to academy teams, wasn't well supported over the years, and I'm sure in the early rounds before, but we just need to wait and see. We'll see what happens when they come out with the options, and then we'll vote accordingly.
Because it was a competition, Paul was probably thankful of having when he came in, because it gave him a few games to see players in match action, and I guess with next season as well, where he's on about developing players and the lack of reserve league, that it can be another competition where he can use.
Well, this is it. I mean, obviously, even with relaxing that full strength team rule, it means that obviously 4 players, there's a potential for Paul to start and use maybe a couple of our own academy players to play in it, to see how they cope in the first team environment, to play at the stadium, or whether it's another stadium somewhere else, to see how they cope, how they deal with it. And it gives, as you say, it could be somebody coming back from injury. It gives them almost like a reserve game, because it only is 4. We'd be only 4 from the previous or the following week. But obviously with this rule as well, that one of the 4 people could be somebody who's played 40 games. So somebody who's maybe not featuring regular in the first team, it gives them a 90 minutes.
Change of questioning, season tickets as well, just past the 1,500 mark, so going pretty well.
Yeah, no, still continuing to be busy in the ticket office, which is good, and we thank everybody for renewing to date. The deadline obviously hits on Saturday. We extended the deadline to the 15th. When we put out the season tickets, we will not be extending it. I'll just reiterate that once again. Please tell everybody we'll not be extending it beyond the 15th, which is Saturday. We are opening Saturday morning, and obviously on Friday, for Good Friday in the morning, prior to the game in the morning as well. So we encourage people, you can do it online, just hopefully renew as soon as possible to guarantee that the offer that's on the table just now for the early bird.
Because numbers seem to have been sales quite up over the last few days, so I guess people are getting that deadline in their heads now.
We hope that the message has got out. We spoke to Supporters Parliament. I know the guys have been working behind the scenes to try and encourage people to realise that we're obviously not, the deadline is a deadline. It's been one of these ones I've never quite understood why we keep extending it every year and everybody gets used to it. So the deadline we made it to the 15th for the reason to include two pay periods, if you like, for people who paid at the end of the month and people are paid on the 15th. So we will not be extending it after Saturday. So if we could please get the message out to as many people as you can.
And once that one's passed, it goes into the second one, which goes up to after the fixture out, so people who are unsure of what Tuesdays and Saturdays they can make will have a better idea, and that is still a good offer. Yeah,
no, I think it's still a very good value for money. I think it helps us with the early bird price being around the £12 a game, if you like, for an adult. So it gives us a good platform to okay, we have to put the price up after that, because it's the early bird is whatever he wants to take advantage of. But you normally find that 2/3 of our season ticket holders will have bought by the first early deadline, so we're hopeful that it'd be great to surpass it, obviously, or get the same numbers as last year. I realise where we are just now, but hopefully people can see that what Paul's done in his time certainly has improved the team on the park, and the points that they've picked up over Paul's reign. I think if you took that over the course of it, if he did the full season, took that as a percentage, we'd probably well safe by now.